welcome to the Clown Chakra. Today's pick a card is just gonna be whatever comes through for you. I'm not doing any rhyme or reason, just what you need to hear right now. Pile 1, we have clear quartz. Pile 2, we have some fluorite. And pile 3, we have black tourmaline. I'm really bad at doing timestamps, so maybe I'll do them this time, maybe I won't. Alright, so for pile 1, clear quartz. We have the Star and Ten of Cups reversed together. There's hope after maybe there was a divorce, maybe you're someone and you haven't seen someone in your family a long time, maybe even children that you might not be allowed to see. Maybe you have like a family member and you can't see your like nephews or nieces, or maybe it just feels like you were separated from your family and now there's like hope that it's gonna be, you're gonna be seeing them again soon, maybe like even after COVID. Queen of Wands upright. This is good energy for pile 1 with the clear quartz. You're not letting stuff bother you. Page of Cups. This is great energy. This is you relearning how to, it feels like relearning. You were definitely relearning how to emotionally show up for people. Maybe you're apologizing to someone in your family. Maybe you've been, it feels like a lot of different things. For some people it's like you've been distanced from like your cousins or your sister's kids or your brother's kids or something like that, or like a divorce or a separation of like a marital home, something like that. But you're in a good spot right now. You're finally like understanding your self-worth. You're understanding what you have to offer. You're understanding that there's hope. You're understanding that maybe that time away from that family was needed, or if it was like a divorce or a breakup or something, you understand it's for the best, and that there's more things calling you. There's better things out there for you. Maybe you were dating someone with kids and you miss that person's kids. Soul time, the frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. One that embraces the concept that while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless and compassion. Frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment. And be the divine mediator. So for some of you, because this is such a general reading, for some of you, like it's like a whole family situation. It's aunts, uncles, grandparents, your parents, everyone included, and you're being like a mediator. Maybe your sister, brother, whoever was like, I'm not talking to the family anymore, and you're stepping in and you're being a mediator. And for others, for someone who maybe had a breakup and they can't see your like stepkids or whatever, this is a time for you to understand that there's other things out there for you. It doesn't feel like it feels like you're over the mourning part of it. It feels like you're over the grief part of it. And you're finally accepting ideas of other possibilities for you. That's what it feels like. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. So yeah, you might even be making friends in like different groups and stuff. Sisterhood of the Rose, this could be very much so, like, it could be very on the nose for some of you. You could literally be sisters and you're helping your sister like relax and be like, okay, I understand that you had an argument with uncle, grandparent, so-and-so. The Age of Light, you've been training this for lifetimes, yeah. So you yourself right now, you are being either you're the glue of this family, or there's a better family out there for you, for the people who just went through like a breakup or divorce. I'm not saying, like, if this is a situation where like your partner isn't letting you see your children, no, you deserve to see your children. When I say there's like better, like if you broke up and there's no kids involved, then definitely there's better relationships out there for you. But that's what I'm seeing for pile 1. And that's really interesting. There's like a 2-in-1. Alright, for pile 2, for the fluorite. Knight of Pentacles. This one has been popping up a lot lately. You're ignoring other chances. You have your eyes set on fucking something, pile 2. And you're going to get it. Oh, pile 2 knows what's not for them. You have turned away. You have turned away from like some drama. You are turned away from maybe even a person, maybe even an individual who's just been so dramatic and over the top in your life. And you're like, I can't handle this. This person is a drama magnet. They love it. They're like, I hate drama, but they're the people who love it. You are turned away from these groups of people that you might have been going to events. You might have been in like a club of some sort. Like, it could be a fucking knitting club. It could be something that you would go and you would attend to. It could be like a book club. And not just a club, but anything where there was a group of people, maybe you would get together and do stuff, and these people are just dramatic and like they're always talking behind each other's back. I see you turned away from that, going towards you're like, fuck all that. Could have been work, it could have been a job, or even just like a group of people at your work, and you're like, I'm not hanging out with them no more. They're a lot. Communication. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, center of our truth. So yeah, it feels like gossip. There was gossiping happening, and it might not have even been about you. You weren't, it doesn't feel like family or people you were really close with. You just like finally left a group of people and you're like, the way you people communicate with each other is awful. You guys are mean, you're nasty to each other. Frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new, grander expressions of ourself. So, also with that, if we want to take a deeper look into it here, which I think they're asking me, I'm trying to be just superficial and light today. But you also might be a person who has a hard time finding groups of people. You might be the type of person who has a hard time making groups of friends, and you might even choose to be a loner at times because you just keep finding these groups of nasty people. Maybe, you know, you're a person and you really believe that, like, I can't be friends with girls because they all are catty or something. You haven't found your right group of people yet, or yeah, it just feels like there's like some loner energy and you prefer it that way. I'm trying to also generalize it because I know a lot of people are going to be coming here. You were trying to find joy in these groups of people, and you are trying to find, they're telling you to try and find joy elsewhere. Maybe not just in different groups of people, but what you like. Okay, maybe you might even be a person who spends a lot of time, you're like, I don't know what I like, so I'm just gonna hang out with these people because they all like something and I want to like something too. I want to have a hobby. So you just keep going around these people who seem to be like in a clique and they're really avid about something, and you have no idea. You're lost. You're like, what is my heart's purpose? What is my purpose? Pile 2, you guys are like, you don't want to, the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. You are really denying. You hear all this like talk in the like spiritual new age world, and it's like, what's your higher purpose? What's your divine purpose? You are so turned away from that. You're like, I have no idea. You're so overwhelmed with it, you don't even want to go into it. You don't even want to look at it. You don't even want to look at the different options. So they're really asking you to say like, no, what makes you happy? What do you love? It's okay, like, find it. And you might think there's no other people like me. You're scared that if you find out what you like, that there's gonna be no support system there for you. You're scared to, for a person who likes being alone so much or doesn't mind being alone so much, you're also terrified of being left out or being seen as like different when you just take this time to yourself so much anyways. So if this doesn't resonate with you, this pile isn't for you. This is a very specific message. Unlike the first pile, there was 2 messages in one. But yeah, that's what I see for pile 2. Pile 3, the tourmaline. Pile 3, a fight with like a money hungry person. You're not avoiding the fight either, or a conflict with someone very aggressive in your life, someone forceful, and you have no problem telling them. You have no problem telling them. Cloudy thinking. Yeah, you're in a disagreement with someone, and you aren't stepping away from the fighting. You're in it, and because you're so into the fighting, you're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking this one through. You might even be the aggressor. This might be a situation where you're an aggressor. Coherence. The frequency of coherence. Okay, so that with the Ace of Swords reversed. Harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. I don't know what's going on between you and like the world, this other person, but there is an aggression. You're being very forceful, and your thinking is clouded by your anger. I don't know what this person did to you or what's happened to you, but your thinking is supremely just so clouded by your pain. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. Yeah, you gotta like ground yourself. You gotta have more coherent thoughts, because they're just, you know, I just remember when I used to let myself get angry all the time, with my first child's father. He would go out and still party on the weekends after we had our son, and I would get so upset, and I would be so mad that he was out all night and didn't come home. And I just remember like standing out on the deck and smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore, but I just remember being so mad and just smoking cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, and the anxiety that overcame me didn't allow me to sleep. So that's the kind of energy I'm getting. You're not thinking clearly because you're just, the energy of like, you know, that like rush you get, toxic rush, I should point out, when you are dating someone and you guys are in like kind of a toxic relationship, and that like toxic rush you get from like going through their phone and like finding something, anything to like throw in their face. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. I don't know if this is like a person, or just, it might even be how you are day to day. Don't go through your partner's phone. Disclaimer. But that's what I'm, you know, speaking on experience, years and years ago. That's the feeling I'm getting. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand behind you. Awakening, an energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So for like other piles, I'd be like, yeah, you're doing the work. This one's calling you to do the work. This one is saying, okay, we don't need to fight all the time. You can let things go. You need to like step back and think clearly about how you're acting. It might be about money. It might be about belongings. The fight you're having is about shit that pops off in the real world, and honestly, like, all this stuff is temporary. Whatever you're fighting about, it just has a feeling of like, is this even important? And you're just holding so tightly onto it, and you don't need to. It's just petty argument. Pettiness, that's another one coming through. And I feel like petty is an art. And I choose not to be petty anymore. But those with the ability to be petty, it's very satisfying to do it sometimes in a toxic way. And I do not condone or promote this at all. I want you all to choose healthier things. I want you all to choose healthier lives. I want you all to choose healthier mindsets. But I'm just relating to the delicious feeling of getting a dig in or being petty, and that's what I'm picking up for pile 3. And your guides are really asking you to just like, can you just relax? Like, you don't have to go in that hard. So that's what I'm picking up for pile 3. Please be more gentle with yourself and others. Thanks for coming to my pick a card today.